Hey everybody, it's great to see you back. We are going to be doing another quick tip, which is I'm going to teach you how to make simple hot fudge that you can have anytime, any way you want. So we're going to get started with some semi-sweet chocolate chips. There's just a few ingredients in this hot fudge mix to really make it good. So we're starting off 2 cups of semi-sweet chocolate chips. You can use whatever brand that you like to use. I like to use Nestle, but it's completely up to you. Now to this, it's just going to go into a regular saucepan, and the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to add 1 can of the 14 ounces of sweetened condensed milk, and that goes right in with the chocolate chips. This is such a great recipe. I love this. I make this a lot for here at the house. Now you're going to turn your heat on. I turn it right on high or medium high. And you're just going to start mixing this and incorporating it together. And once it's mixed and the pan heats up, I reduce the heat down to medium, just so that it doesn't burn on. If you want to kind of watch this and stir as you go, okay? And you can see immediately the chocolate chips are starting to melt. Now this recipe doesn't take too long and it's simple. Now if you wanted to do this in the microwave as well, start it off at 30 seconds and then take it out, stir it, put it back in for 30 seconds. Just use like a glass bowl or something like that, and then you can do it that way. So if you want to cut a few corners, feel free to do that for sure. Now this is kind of incorporating and it's getting melted a little bit. Once this really starts to melt a little more, we're going to add a couple more ingredients. One of them is going to be 1/2 cup of half and half, and that's going to help smooth everything around and really make it come together really good. So you can see, I'm going to show you here that the clumps are starting to kind of melt away, the little pieces of the chocolate chip. The reason why I use chocolate chips and not regular chocolate, you could use regular chocolate if you had the regular chocolate bar. You could definitely do that if you wanted to. I like using chocolate chips because I always have them on hand. So that's really the only reason why I do it, is because I always am making chocolate chip cookies or stuff like that. So this is pretty well melted. It's really, really thick. So this is the time when we want to put in our half and half.
Use 1/2 cup of half and half.
Now what you want to do is just kind of go slow at first, because this is really liquidy. And it looks almost like it's not going to form or come together, but it will, I promise. So what you do is you're just going to kind of keep stirring, and as you go, that is all going to form right back into a thick sauce again. Now, in an earlier episode, I did some homemade caramel sauce. This is the same type of deal, where if you put this, you can make up double this recipe if you want, triple it. But this makes the perfect hot fudge. So we've got hot fudge and caramel. How can you go wrong with those 2 ingredients, right? I love this at night, sometimes with just a bowl of ice cream with a little bit of hot fudge on it, maybe some whipped cream, watching TV or something. It's just, I know it's not the greatest for you sugar-wise, but that's why we work out, right? Okay, so this is coming together nice. Now I'm gonna put in 1 tablespoon of butter, and that just helps kind of cream everything together and really add a richness to this sauce it's just delicious. Now there's only 1 more ingredient left, and what we're going to do is we're going to wait until this all comes together and melts and it's nice and creamy. We're going to remove it from the heat after that to add our last ingredient. Now if you wanted to flavor this, go for it. You can get those little bottles of almond extract or raspberry or strawberry, all kinds of different, they have all kinds of different flavors. They have a wonderful, I think it's McCormick sells a great orange flavor that would be fantastic in this. Orange flavored hot fudge, that would be so good. Now as I'm stirring this, seems like all of the clumps are pretty much gone. I'm going to go ahead and reduce this. It was on a medium high already, not completely high. Like I said in the video with the caramel sauce, everyone's oven is going to vary, especially if you're doing it electric versus gas, okay? I have a gas stove, so the heat tends to be hotter right away rather than electric, waiting for it to warm up. So I don't have a ton of experience with electric ranges, but I've heard wonderful things about them. I mean, I've cooked on them before lots of times down at my business. We have an electric range there, but I love doing it here. So what I'm doing here is I'm just cooking this or heating it up until just starting to boil or bubble around the edges. If you let it set for a minute and you look and it's bubbling up around the edges, which that's exactly what it's doing now, we're gonna go ahead and take that right off the heat because it is done, okay? And I'm just gonna really stir this now. If you wanna dig out your whisk at this point, you can definitely do that, okay? If it's a little bit easier, you can definitely do that. But this looks pretty thin, pretty smooth, and we are ready to add our last ingredient, which is vanilla. And we're gonna add 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. Just kind of eyeball it there. 1.5 teaspoons goes into the mix. We slowly stir it. And the reason why we don't get it to more than overboiling is you don't want it to form back into hard chocolate. Okay, you just want to keep it as smooth as possible. And this, and smells so good. I love this. Now, this is super easy, guys, and I'm going to tell you right now that this recipe outweighs any type of hot fudge you can go buy at the store. I know some of you may have favorites out there, but try it. Just try this and add a little bit of flair of your own. If you want, I know some people add different other flavors to intensify the chocolate, and if you want to do that, go for it. And that is done. So we're gonna go ahead and grab our little mason jar here, just like we did with the caramel sauce. And that is going to go right in there. This is gonna make just over a jar. So I'm gonna keep the rest in a little small dish because I'm gonna be using it for the next cooking episode that's coming right up, which is that turtle cheesecake, which you won't wanna miss. So easy, simple, delicious. You can make as much as you want and store it in the refrigerator. It keeps for quite, and then when you're ready to use it, you take it out, you microwave it for 30 seconds. And then you take it out of the microwave, you give it a little stir with that spoon, stick it back in for 30 more seconds, take it out, give it one more spoonful stir, or 1 spoon stir, and then you're ready to go. It's perfect. So we'll be right back. I'm gonna be doing turtle cheesecake, so you don't wanna miss that. Thanks, guys. We'll be right back. Don't forget, whatever you do, make it with love.